And I feel very compelled to provide our students with the opportunity to break the cycle of poverty. And it's only going to be through education that can happen. And we're the gatekeepers of that.
Welcome back to another episode of The Path Forward. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Rick Fernandez. We're here in San Antonio at TechSedCon 24, and I have a first-time guest, and I'm very excited to have Dr. Bobby Ramirez-Trevino, this proud superintendent, Zapata County.
Very proud superintendent.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here today.
Now, for those that may not know, tell us a little bit about Zapata County and your students in your community.
So Zapata County is very south on Highway 83 between Laredo and the beginning of the valley, Upper Valley area. So we're sort of isolated, kind of into ourselves. We've got a population of about 14,000 people. My students, we're a population of about 3,200.
Okay.
It's a very rural community, very embedded in family and pride around our school district. It's the only school district in town, the only school in town. And so everybody sort of rallies around. One of the unique things about the school district is that probably 95% of the employees are all graduates. I myself graduated in 1984. In 1984, it feels like I just graduated. 1984, all of my board members are graduates from the school district. And so there comes with that, obviously, some challenges.
Sure.
Because everybody knows everybody, but the benefits far outweigh. We're a very connected community that rally around our students. And we have a large concentration of talent in our town with the activities that our students are involved in. One of the things that I did this summer as I was preparing for convocation and leadership, did some reading around strengthening school communities,
Okay.
and which is talking about educating kids in deep poverty. And that led me to do some research around my own community to find out that roughly 38% of our town is in deep poverty, of our county. But kids 0 to 18, it's about 53%.
Wow.
So that's very eye-opening.
Yes.
When you think about the challenges that we face in accountability, in graduation, in post-secondary pursuits. All of that data sort of starts to begin to make sense.
Yes.
When you're looking at, of course, we have very high Spanish-speaking population and a lot of challenges around attendance. So there's some culture around that.
Sure.
That we're dealing with. We're making strides with some of the initiatives that we're doing, but in my third year now, it's starting to, well, how are we going to ramp this up?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, speaking, so it's your third year as superintendent, but tell us a little bit about your career path.
So my first year teaching was there in Zapata County. I was a part of the first alternative certification group. I was a finance major, worked in banking, which I found extremely boring. And my dad was a banker. My mom was an educator. And I swore I would never be an educator until I became an educator. So I taught 1 year there, and then I moved to San Antonio. So the majority of my teaching career was in the San Antonio area, Lytle, San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
Got my master's at St. Mary's University, and my first administrative gig was as a campus instructional coordinator at Edison High School with San Antonio ISD. And I did that for 3 years, and then I moved back home, and I became an assistant principal in Laredo at United ISD.
Okay.
So I was a middle school assistant principal for 5 years, and then a middle school principal for 4 years. And then I moved into central office at Laredo ISD.
What eventually called you back home?
Family.
Yes.
So I was a single mom raising 2 daughters, living in San Antonio, paying
Yeah.
extraordinary amounts for daycare. And I just thought to myself, like, what am I doing home? And I always wanted to live, I'm a ranch girl. I liked living, being a part of that. I didn't get to settle there. I moved to Laredo, so still some access to that. But it's been now at the age of, 50 something, that I've moved back home, that I'm having this amazing opportunity to not only lead the district that grew me, but also to live on a ranch, and I get to disconnect and be around cattle and horses and deer and just the life of being a cattle rancher.
How much pressure and how personal is it leading the district where you grew up? And like, explain that a little bit, because I've never experienced that. I want your perspective.
It's it, there's a pressure to perform,
Yes.
definitely. I don't want to let anybody down, especially my students. I feel very committed and passionate about the work that I do. I don't like the political piece of it, and sometimes it can get nasty.
Sure.
Not too bad where I am, mostly around the district. I have a really good board. They give me a lot of autonomy, but the commitment to I'm responsible for making sure that because of our poverty level now, especially, that means a lot more to me now that I realize that, and kind of I've been putting some faces to those numbers, is that we're the gatekeepers
Yeah.
of that. And I feel very compelled to provide our students with the opportunity to break the cycle of poverty. And it's only going to be through education that can happen. And we're the gatekeepers of that. And so while we're not a diverse community, we're all Hispanic, the diversity is between the haves and the have-nots. And the opportunities that, because you're a student, a teacher's child, or you're related to so-and-so, your schooling experience might look different than someone who doesn't have an advocate for you. And I'm trying to erase that. And so my work has been, the work that we're doing with my team, our team, together, is leveling the playing field for those kids that are invisible, that come every day, but they don't have an
Yes,
advocate.
That's right. And we'll sit, and you'll never you'll never know
Yeah.
till it's too late that they need
Yeah, that
support.
they need that support. And I didn't grow up with that. I grew up with a tremendous support system. My mom was a human resources director, so she was in central office. My dad was a banker. I came from an educated
Yes.
family. There was never a question as
It was a
to-
priority in your house.
It was a priority, and there was never a question of whether you were going to go to college or not. Was where that was, and even then there wasn't that much choice. You're going to A&M, like, period. Right?
Yes.
And so I'm trying to bring that. Like, I don't have the experience that my kids had, but I want to make sure that they have the opportunities that I had.
I love that. That's very powerful. Say that again. That's very powerful.
So they don't have the experiences that I have, but they can have the opportunities that I have. That we can open the doors and make every kid on our campuses visible, so that they know that there's something else out there that can help them get out of where they are and break the cycle.
What are some of the challenges around teaching, staff, leadership? Is it hard to find your team, your core, when positions come open?
Yes, it is, because we don't have a traffic jam of people coming
Right.
to live there, right? And so we have to really work at building our own. And when I start thinking about leadership positions, I have to think about, well, if I open this position, I'm taking away a teacher.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
And then I'm not going to have somebody to replace that teacher.
So you're having to the snowball effect of making this decision, and then all the ripples after the fact.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm real careful about what positions we open, and I've been able to really restructure and kind of maximize the team. We wear a lot of hats. My executive team wears a lot of hats. My principals wear different hats,
Mhm.
because where they're in charge of their campus, when they meet with me as an executive team, they remove the principal hat, and now you're an executive team
District
member.
leadership almost, right? Yes.
You're a part of the leadership team, because I need that synergy to be able to move the district forward and handle some of the challenges that we have around attendance and performance and graduation and TSI and some of those kinds of things that, college ready and the extension of that.
That's awesome. What do you love about the work, the kids, the community? Like, I'm a teacher, or a rookie teacher, looking to make a change. What's so special there?
For me, I love the kids.
It's always that, right?
Love the kids. My first year out, I started an advisory group. My advisory group is a little bit different than normal advisory groups. Mostly those look like high school kids.
Yes.
Mine is third grade through seniors. And they stay on for the duration. Like all I do is roll in new third graders every year.
Really?
So they're with me for as long as I'm here. They're going to be with me. So I've been with them already for 3 years. So watching the transition from a third grader to fifth grade, from a sixth grader to eighth grade, from freshmen to now, the ones that are freshmen, sophomores that are now my juniors and seniors, the growth that's happened.
That's awesome.
And so they've been empowered because I've opened a line of communication with them that they've never had before. And when we started working on the strategic plan, which was a new process for everybody, I hadn't even ever been through a strategic design process. And my role was simply to be there every time they met, to just be support. I wasn't necessarily in the grouping, in the work.
Right.
I was watching. But one of the things I did with them right on the onset, because I was trying to get steps, and I told them, hey, we're going to break. Y'all want to go take a walk? I'm going to go walk. So we went to go walk, and they loved that. So then throughout the semester, every time we'd meet, they'd come up to me and they'd say, hey, Dr. T, we need a break. Can we go walk? And that was code. They had something they wanted to talk to me about. So we'd go walk around central office while everybody else stayed inside, and they would talk to me about what was on their mind, things that they wanted to do, things they wanted to try, concerns that they had. And the change in them was...
It wasn't an instant. I mean, they had a voice. Like it's.
I mean, just how they've morphed into these like leaders is incredible. I mean, it's incredible. And they'll tell me they've written me letters, and when they see me on their campus, their whole face lights up, and not because I'm anything special, but because
they're involved. They're part of the solution
and the relationship.
Yeah.
The relationship with them. And so I even had one of the boys came up to me and said, can we go take a walk? And I said, yeah, of course, let's go. Called the kids, we're going to go for a walk. And he walks over to another kid, and the kid gives him $5. And I'm like, what are you all doing? He says, Lenny paid me $5 to come and ask you to go for a walk. I'm like, you could have just asked me, Lenny. You didn't have to. But when they see me, they just get so excited because they know that I'm in their corner. And when they come to me, the things that I can change immediately, like I will handle immediately.
Right.
So they know it means something.
Right.
And when we were working on the motto piece, the vision for the district, everybody in the group was, they're all graduates. So it's, Hawk Pride, tradition. And the kids were like, no, that's more of the same. We don't want more of the same. We want something different.
Wow.
So their idea was empowering tomorrow's leaders. And he said, one of the main kid that was speaking, he said, it's not for us, we're going to graduate. It's for all of these other ones. And so they were adamant about it. And so then that's our motto. And that's what we're living. We're living empowering tomorrow's leaders.
What's funny is if only some of our adults had that understanding of, it may not affect me, but it's going to affect the next
generation.
Yeah.
So coming to work for us, you have to be ready to know, I'm going to be pushing it, and because I push myself. So if I tell them I want an A district, I have to be an A superintendent, and I can't be an A superintendent without A principals and A level teachers and A level campus leaders and district leaders. So if I'm going to bring my A game, y'all need to bring your A game too.
What's the one big focus for this year?
Literacy.
Yes.
We've done some work. We have all these goals, and it sounds great on paper, strategic plans. You've got all the district improvement plan, blah, 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 all the stuff.
Mapping and all,
all the jargon. But it sticks with me, and I sit there and I think about what's the one thing? If we handled this one thing and we changed it, what would have the biggest impact? And it's getting our kids on grade level to read. And it starts with pre-K.
You're right.
And if all of our kids were reading on grade level, attendance, discipline, engagement, scores, TSI, college readiness, all of that would fall into place.
I love it. When we'll end on this. when your time is done, Dr. T did this. What's this? What is this blank?
Gave voice to the kids and to the teachers. They have a voice.
I love it. I'm so glad that we did this.
Me too. It
Golly.
gets me very emotional because I don't have kids in the school system, and my daughter lives in Sunnyvale with my grandkids, so she's super far away, and they won't be coming back to this area. But when I see the kids and the amazing talent, my one act play won state this year, and it's the second time that a fully Hispanic cast wins. The first time was in 2017, and it was my school district, and it was an all-female cast. And then this year they won with a bilingual.
That's crazy.
A bilingual production, and the talent and the perseverance that they demonstrate, whether it's mariachi or band or athletics or the fine arts. I mean, it's just amazing.
All they need is a chance. We underestimate kids so much, and they're so resilient and so talented, and at times we can't see it because we learned it this way, we did it this way, this was our experience, and we have that lens of that vacuum of repeating how we did it.
Well, and I feel like we put barriers up to protect ourselves, the adults do, and we become disengaged because this person hurt me or this person said this, and now I'm not going to do this anymore, and so we almost just accept mediocrity. And then the issue about our kids being invisible, to me, that's the most powerful thing. Mm-hmm. Like, every kid needs someone on campus to connect with, an adult, because if we don't provide that, they're going to find connections.
Yes, they will. They'll find acceptance somewhere.
Somewhere, and it's not going to lead them down the good path.
No, it is not.
So I'm real. That's my calling. I feel very passionate about all of our kids having opportunities. So when I talk to kids, I don't talk just to my top kids. I talk to all kids, and I talk to their parents, and I go to the alternative campus and tell me what's working, what's not working, what do we need to do better. And hands down, the kids are like, we need engagement. Yeah.
That's
on us.
That solves almost everything right there. Just the engagement in this.
We need our kids running to our classrooms, not away from our classrooms.
You said it. Yeah, I just got to say, like, if you're a new teacher, if you're a teacher anywhere and you want a place that has heart, and you want to go make a difference, you got to check out Dr. T. You got to check out Zapata County. Is there a website? Where to?
ccisd.org. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. You might have to travel a little bit to go get HEB, but it's all right.
Can they borrow a horse from your ranch?
We can take a trail ride, go riding on the ranch. It's just a great place to be, and people care about each other. And there's nothing like Friday Night Lights in Zapata County, so it's a good place to be.
Thank you for being here, and
thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And, every time I meet a leader, I learn something. It just reinvigorates me. So thank you for giving me a little bit of a spark today. I really appreciate it. And to our listeners, if you like what you heard, saw, click the like, the subscribe, and check out Zapata County. They got some good things going on.